Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay, perfect. Now, before I start, let me tell you that today's session will be given at 5:15. Engineer Huda Sayed will be joining us, and she will be talking to us about mobile applications development, and you will be doing an activity with her, a very lovely activity. And from now until 5:15, I will start off by talking to you a little bit about mobile applications. But before I do so, I want to talk a little bit about last week's activity. Now, I've received too many emails from students telling me, "Oh, I don't know which group I belong to. I don't know who's my partner." Now, guys, I said this at the end of last week's class. It is your responsibility, not my responsibility, to put you in. Now, I know other professors like that, like English professors, may, for example, put you in groups, but I don't usually like to do this. I don't like to do this. I always trust the students to put themselves into groups. So what I'm going to suggest is as follows. I want you to discuss it amongst yourselves. Remember that next semester you're going to become university students. So the professor is not going to have time to put you into groups. So what I would like you to do is to discuss it amongst yourselves, form a group, and you can stay with this group until the end of the semester. So for this activity and all the upcoming activities. Now, if you have not completed the project yet, this is what I'm going to do. Just give me a second. I'll probably show you now. Okay. Now, I said that for the web development activity, I said that the deadline was supposed to be today, but because of the emails I kept receiving, I have decided to postpone this until Sunday, 11:59 p.m. So by Sunday midnight. So if you have not completed your assignment, or if you If you have not completed the assignment or you have not been assigned to a group, please start working on this immediately. Start working on this immediately. Now, regarding sketch to code, yes, you can. Yes. Regarding your sketch to code, I'm going to show you something. So I'm going to upload one of my designs. Maybe some of you, although it's very easy, like the only way I can help you on this is to show you once again how it's done. So to do this, click on upload design. Can you all see my screen? Can you all see the sketch to code the screen? Okay, 1 second. Can you see it now? Okay. Now to do this, simply click on upload design. It will take you to your files. I'm going to pick one of my designs. So you pick the picture from here. And for some reason, okay, it's not showing the text that I've written. I don't know why this happened. I'm going to try a different one. Just give me a second. I want to try like a different design. Okay, this one worked. Let me just try one more. But did you all get what you need to do? It's very simple. You all just have to upload the picture. Okay. Now, there are possible reasons why we may get this output. Basically, make sure that the lighting is clear when you take the picture. Make sure that the lighting is clear. And if it persists and you end up with something like this, then it's okay. I will have to accept it. I don't know why it's doing this. So I will give you until Sunday evening to complete this assignment. and to be able to find yourself a group. Okay, any questions for me in this regard? Any questions? Any questions? Thank you, Shahad. Everybody else, any questions? Okay, so you have until Sunday night to complete this. Okay, now, until Engineer Huda joins us, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about mobile applications. Like, what is the purpose of mobile app? What's the purpose of a mobile application? Just like a short introduction. So, to start off, let's talk about the mobile web. We all know that we use web browsers every day on our computers, on our laptops, etc., to access the net. But nowadays, it has become very evident, it has become very, very, very widely noticed that people are using their smartphones or their mobile gadgets to access the internet of the world. Because our lifestyle tends to be extremely busy. Therefore, a new term has come into the field of IT, and this term is known as the mobile web. Okay, guys, just bear with me for a second. Sorry about this, guys. So, the mobile web is basically websites being accessed using mobile devices. It's the medium through which we can access all the mobile, through which we can access the websites on the web using our mobile devices. Now, this feature or this strength is known as ubiquity. And ubiquity is about the capability of mobile devices being able to connect to the internet or connect to the web and exchange information. No problem. And ubiquity is about being connected anytime, all the time, any place, everywhere. So connected anytime, anywhere, all the time, every place. Now, M-commerce. Now, M stands for mobile. M stands for mobile. Before M-commerce, a lot of us have heard about e-commerce. And e-commerce stands for electronic commerce. And electronic commerce is the conduct or the carrying out of commercial transactions, such as purchases, for example, using the web. M-commerce or mobile commerce is basically doing electronic commerce transactions using mobile devices, whether iPads or whether tablets, smartphones, etc. Now, a lot of us may ask, is e-commerce the same as m-commerce? The answer is yes, they are relatively the same. However, there are some challenges or some differences. One challenge is security. We want to ensure that all transactions that we do over the mobile web are securely conducted because we are using our own financial data, our personal data, and we want to make sure that they are securely maintained. The other challenge is that of usability. And what does the word usability mean? Usability means ease of use of the application or the website. Is this application user-friendly? Is this website user-friendly? User-friendly here means are they easy to use? Is it clear? Are the colors well chosen? These are the things that you may wish to consider. These are the things that you may wish to consider. The other challenge is that of heterogeneous technologies. Remember, with mobile applications, we are talking about many different technologies being adopted here. So mobile commerce is about having many different technologies, many different hardware and software technologies working together. And finally, business model. What's the business model? A business model is basically how a mobile application can be used to conduct business. And we want to make sure that our application serves our business model or our business strategy, or how we want to see this business being carried out or conducted properly. Now, what is a good mobile application? Now, in the following links here, I have some videos for you. You can watch them during your own time about mobile applications. So I'm just trying to look for something. Just give me a second. So this is a good example of a mobile app that I have here. And this mobile app is known as Burgerator. It's from the UK. Basically, you are sitting at home and you feel like a burger. And simply, like this, I know that this application is available here, but this is one of the first applications that came into reality. You feel like a burger. So this application connects you to all the available burgers in your surroundings, and you will be able to find and rate the best and the worst burgers that are around. So you may find a burger. It will basically show you all the burger restaurants that are close to you with reviews and ratings. You may want to make an order. If you make an order and you're able to do, and if you make an order and then let's say you wanted to review and rate this order, you can also use this application to rate your order. So this is basically a good example of a mobile app, which is Burgerator. Now, mobile applications have lots of advantages. Mobile applications have lots of advantages. The first advantage is that of convenience. Mobile applications are always available, they are always on, and our mobile phones are always with us. So ourselves and our mobile phones are inseparable. You can connect at any time, anywhere, and basically you can input data at any time and through any medium. In other words, mobile applications are ubiquitous. Another advantage of mobile applications, they are location aware. So for example, in so many cases, we do not need to input our addresses because our addresses are detected by the application. We can use sound, we can use videos, we can use pictures, multimedia to input whatever we want. Now, at the beginning, a lot of people thought that a lot of people thought that a mobile application was simply shrinking the web page into our mobile phones. The answer is absolutely no. The answer is absolutely no. So as you can see here, this is a proper web page from a computer. And a mobile application is not about shrinking the web page, just like what you're seeing on the right here. A mobile application is making the web page look more consistent with a smaller screen by basically using all the relevant content. So I can do a catalog search by taking what's necessary, as you can see here. So basically, a mobile web app is about making, is about using what's necessary from the mobile application, sorry, what's necessary from the web application that we normally access with our computers, available on the move. Now, features of a mobile application, as we said, includes a virtual keyboard or a physical keyboard. We can always attach an external keyboard if we wanted to. We can use a touch or multi-touch. We can use our Apple Pencils or our mobile, or just like in the case of Android phones, some of them come equipped with a pen. Some of these features include location identification, or just like in the case of iPhone or the latest iPhones, iPhone 10 and above, facial recognition, as well as other connections such as a phone, a web, texting, or email. it comes to best practices, here, mobile applications actually handle all the unavailable or lost network connections and basically only limit the use to the desired user or user groups. Mobile applications are about the optimal use of storage and basically standard or just the necessary graphical user interface layout. When it comes to mobile applications, we are talking about efficiency, speed, and responsiveness, and about saving the data every time changes occur. So basically, application data must be saved every time we perform a transaction because it's important that we maintain our data. We can also share the necessary data with content providers, and at the same time, we can implement all these activities at any time. Now, what makes one mobile application better than the other? It's the design considerations. So, for example, screen orientation. Do I want a portrait or a vertical orientation or a landscape or a horizontal orientation? What is the optimal or the best screen size and resolution for my application? Which operating system is better? Is it going to be an iOS or Apple? Is it going to be Android or Samsung? Or is it going to be something else? Or is it going to be all of them? Because remember, if my application is compatible with all mobile operating systems, then it will reach a higher audience or a wider audience. Just give me a second, please. Okay, sorry about that once again. So all of them, iOS, Android, yes, because if we have access to more operating systems than all operating systems, then there should be an access to a larger audience. Now, every mobile application has a well-defined purpose. Every application has a purpose, whether it's a financial or a banking purpose, whether it's a purpose of fun, whether it is a game, whether so many reasons as to why we are creating or using a mobile application. There can be multi-user support, so many users can actually use a single application. So multi-user support is another feature of mobile applications. Can I upgrade the application or add new features? The answer is yes. Can I support multi-languages and colors? Yes. Can I support multiple fonts and multiple font sizes? The answer is also yes. So these are all design considerations or considerations that would characterize one application from the other. To download applications, as you are aware, we can go to Google Play or to
طيب
Apple.
انا ابغى افهم طيب اقعد اقول لك
Sorry, who was talking?
Professor Basil,
Yes.
sorry for interrupting you, but I sent you an email yesterday and you did not respond
What was this email about?
about the PPC 101 that we have midterm.
What time is the midterm?
It's 6.
Okay, but it's still 4:45, right?
Yeah, I know that, but we talked to our doctor, and he told that there is nothing to do, and we should get ready to go to the exam because it's on campus.
Well, I don't know. Like, I wasn't informed about who's your doctor, really? Who's the doctor?
It's his name's Salim.
Salim?
Yeah,
What's the course?
math pre-calculus 1.
Okay, so basically he said to write this exam, you should not attend any other classes, right?
What?
So basically he said that to write his exam and you should not attend any other class. Is this what he said to you?
No, but because I sent you an email yesterday and you
No,
did
I know that you
respond,
sent
so
an
I
email,
answered
but
to
I'm
tell you that
asking a question. You said that he said that you should be ready for his exam. So does this mean that you shouldn't attend
I
other
did
classes?
I did not say that.
Okay.
I said that we need time to get ready for his exam. His exam is 6, and we need time to go there, and we need time to get ready to go to the university. I did not say that he told us do not attend any class like what you said.
Oh, okay. But he should be aware that this class is until 7 p.m. But I don't know.
We told him, and he said that there is nothing to do because the university who put this date and this time.
Okay, so I don't know what to do because at 5:15 you have an activity that is starting. Are you all writing this test? Is the entire class doing this test?
Yes.
Is everybody doing this test? Can you just type in the chat, please, all of you? Some people are saying no.
No, I mean the PPC 101, not these people in this
No,
class.
I'm asking how many of you are doing the PPC 101 exam? Can you type in the chat, please? So this doesn't apply to everyone. Okay, so if you want to leave, it's okay. But for those who are not doing this exam, please do stay because you have a class. So it's okay. If you want to go and catch up, then it's all right, not a problem. I do appreciate the situation and I understand. However, please make sure that you just follow up with your colleagues to see what you missed. It's important, okay?
Okay, of course. Thank you very much for
You're
understanding.
welcome. Okay, no problem. So let's continue. So we spoke about the Android or the Google Play store, whereby we can actually, whereby we can actually download applications, and then we have the Apple market, where people with iPhones can download applications. Applications, in their majority, are free, but others you need to subscribe for. And the trend is nowadays that that more and more applications are becoming charged. In other words, a lot of these applications may ask us to make a small payment. For example, LinkedIn. If we wanted to access the premium service, which will connect us to more people, which will allow us to access like more facilities, more features of the application, we have to pay around $30 per month so that we can access the proper site. For example, iCloud. We have to pay a monthly fee of about 15 riyals so that we can get an extra 200 gigabytes of storage. Same goes for OneDrive, all these applications. Because the free version of the application is limited, but some of the paid versions have a full capability. So this is basically using a product which is a mobile application in the market. Mobile browsers, Safari, Android, Google Chrome, Firefox. So a lot of the browsers that we are using on our computers are actually available in a mobile format. So the purpose here was simply just to give you a little bit of an introduction as to what mobile applications are about, while we wait for engineer Huda to join us and to start her activity. So we have about another 15 minutes before she joins us. I'm just going to share something with you. Just bear with me. Okay, I'm going to share this video with you. It's a very interesting one. So let's watch this together. Now, this is about Android development. Android application development is Android actually is a very huge and an interesting mobile operating system, although it is available on Samsung phones. But it's a good starting point for people who wish to learn about mobile development. So I'm going to leave you with this video for the next 8 minutes. And I'm sure that you're going to enjoy it. Okay, so the purpose of this video was simply to introduce you guys to the path that you need to follow if you want to become a mobile application developer. But what is a mobile application actually? What do we need to do to think about acquiring the skills for a mobile application? So I have another video for you. Just let's wait for Engineer Huda to join us. Let's watch this one together. Okay, just 1 second. Can you see the video now? Okay. Can you hear it now? Can you hear?
Hello?
Can't hear the speaker?
I hear you, Dr. Basil.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so Engineer Huda is here. Okay, so we were while we were actually waiting for you, we were just watching a video on Android development and what it takes for a person to become an Android developer. But since you're here, then I'm just going to pass on the host to you. So you are our host right now.
Thank you, Dr. Basil.
And I'm just going to introduce Engineer
Shall
Huda to
I
everybody.
get started?
I'm just going to take a minute to introduce Engineer Huda Sayed for everyone. Now, this is a motivation for all of you. Engineer Huda is a lecturer and an instructor of software engineering at the College of Engineering, probably one of our best ones, and if not the best, obviously. And to motivate you all, she's a graduate of Al Faisal University, top student in software engineering. and she has a master's of software engineering from Prince Sultan University. She is also an Oracle certified developer with lots of great experience and lots of graphics and fun that you're going to enjoy. So I won't talk a lot. I'm going to leave you with Engineer Huda. I'm just going to stop my screen share here. So now, Engineer Huda, it's all to you. And please start sharing whatever you want. So
Thank you
good
so much.
luck, and I will be available if you need me at any time.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm really glad to join you today, and I wish that everyone is going to enjoy this session as well. Very excited to get started. So we've heard lots of great news about you guys. So we wish that you can all participate with us and get the full experience needed to get started on this topic. So today we're supposed to start talking more about mobile application, and we're going to get to start with the basics of knowing about mobile apps, design basics. We're going to learn about the application structure. We're going to let the fun begin by doing some hands-on work. So just let me first ask you this. Why do you think mobile technology nowadays is getting improved all the time? Please feel free to write in the chat or just turn on the mics. Up to you. Okay, yes, Al Anoud, you have a raised hand. Sorry, I didn't notice. Okay, Al Anoud, we can hear you. If you can turn on the mic. Okay, you think it's the so okay, Al Anoud, do you want to add to this? Anyone here wants to have any addition? All right, so I just want you to explore the world around you a bit. So looking around you, you will see that lots of things in our daily life are now oriented on using technology. So whether we're talking about computer technology or mobile technology, it gets on being improved because it's highly demanded. Now imagine the pandemic time without using technology. How could education run? How can healthcare be controlled? uh, Many different aspects. We use it even for entertainment nowadays. So it takes a very good portion of our daily life, and that's why we keep on improving it. So the first invention of mobile technology was a big deal, but if things were to stop at this point, there is no point of having um, things nowadays with the current technology. So imagine like you're having, let's say, the Nokia phone that was first launched I think 20 years ago or so. Imagine that it was the same technology as of nowadays. Think of the market competition. Will it still survive, or simply it's going to be obsolete? So improving mobile technology is really important to keep the pace of the market and to introduce some new technology that could be of better use. Now, talking about mobile technology, there are two ways if you want to develop mobile application. You can simply invest in lots of companies and organizations that can actually build something for you, and you will still be controlled, sort of, if let's say you want to do any upgrades, if you want to change anything in your application, you will have to get back to the company who was first in charge. And there is the other approach if you want to learn the skills needed so that you can actually go and try things yourself. So I'll try here to just highlight some uh, basics related to mobile development so that whenever you start in this area, it would be just a simple process to follow. Now, let me ask you this. I think you all here have smartphones. Just let me ask you this very quick question. Who holds an Android phone? Hands up, please. So there is the raise hand option, I guess, in Zoom. You can use this one. Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Okay, so here Shahid is saying she's iPhone user. Okay, so your iPhone. Anyone here is Android? Okay, top. Who's iPhone? Who's holding an iPhone? Great. We have 3, 4. Excellent. Great. Okay. So, okay, there is Noor as well, Amal and Al-Hanud. Great. Okay, so when we talk about mobile development, or actually mobile smartphones, we have different types. We can talk about Android, the iOS, the Windows, and the BlackBerry, but of course, not all of them are currently existing. So if, for example, you're looking here at the Windows or BlackBerry, it's no longer used much. The main competition nowadays run between the Android and the iOS. And surprisingly, you will notice that the Android user worldwide are way more compared to the iOS. And that's because of many things. Can you highlight any point? So why do you think Android users are more compared to iOS users? It's not
Maybe because
expensive, less
Android is
expensive,
more
right?
easier.
Maybe because what? Can you repeat this again, please?
Android is more easier.
It's ways easier. Yes, excellent. Thank you. So it's an easy interface. It provides an easy interface. It's not expensive, so it's most likely affordable. And it's also less when it comes to security. So compared to iOS puts lots of restrictions on security aspects so that you cannot really upload or just download any third-party applications on your iOS that might harm your device. So as developers, the best option for us to start the implementation usually comes in the Android area. So Android provides us with what we know as open source environment. Open source environment, in a sense, you can easily build things. You can easily upload it to a Play Store. You can test it as beta versions so that lots of customers come in and try your edition and simply tell you if there is any updates needed and so on. So this entire process is really simple when it comes to Android, but it's a bit more complex when it comes to iOS. Lots of phone companies have as Android applications. Yes, guys, you will see that the majority of the applications are actually there on Android, but not necessarily that you find the same application running on the iOS or the Apple Store. Right, excellent. Excellent, Shahid. Thank you. All right, so to start with the development, we usually recommend we start with the Android as a track. Once you master knowing how to develop in any of these platforms, it's going to be easy for you to switch to any other one. Of course, there are lots of other smartphone operating systems that are recently launching, including, for example, the Harmony introduced by Honor recently. There is also Sailfish, KOS, and many other types, and that competition is really golden in this area nowadays. So we expect lots of coming operating systems that are really effective as or as professional as iOS and Android in the near future. Now, I'll ask you to do something just for less than 10 seconds. I just want you to open your smartphones and just explore the sort of applications that you usually use on daily basis. And let me ask you this, what's your favorite app when you open the phone? Okay, so what kind of applications you use? Just give it anyone. Okay, Twitter, Snapchat, great. FaceTime, WhatsApp, excellent, great. Great, Snapchat, Twitter, okay. Instagram, Google Maps, excellent, great. So I just want you to imagine that this mobile that you're holding nowadays doesn't have any mobile application. Will it be of any use? Not really, right? Not at all. Excellent, great. So without mobile applications, we look into our smartphones as a simple piece of metal. It's of no use, right? So what makes it really interactive with us as users is the idea of having mobile applications. Yes, it will be useless. Excellent. Thank you, Hind. So now let's try to define what's a mobile application. So when you start dealing with this word in development uh, infrastructure, you will get to notice that mobile application is a set of related activities. And by activities here, we mean like different screens, but we call it activity in mobile app language. So different activities connected together to target specific people for a specific purpose. That's why sometimes when you try to download an app, you will see that an app is given a certain category. Could be under healthcare, could be under fitness, could be under entertainment, could be for educational purposes, right? So it comes under category to specify which category of people could be interested in this application. So who can download this app, for example? Okay, is my voice clear? Because it tells me there is instability on my side. Dr. Basil, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so now let's try to look more into the Android. Just let me first introduce that guy here. His name is Andrew. And let me ask you this. What do you know about Android? What do you think that word means in context? Okay, so Android as a word, it means a robot with human appearance that no guard can ever stop. And that's why usually they give it this logo here. Now, if we are talking about it as developers, then we mean here that it's going to be an open source operating system, which acts like the brain that runs our smartphones. So we agreed on this previously. Without a mobile application, this smartphone is going to be a useless piece of metal, right? So think of a mobile app as the brain through which the smartphone is actually useful. Let me introduce for you Android family. Android family is known to be the most delicious family in the world. So starting with their very first release, it was alpha and then they went for beta, but starting from the C version, they started giving the new editions some names related to desserts. So starting with the cupcakes, donuts, eclair, froyo, gingerbread, honeycomb, ice cream sandwich, jelly beans, Kit Kat, lollipop, marshmallow. Now, what do you think O stands for? Think of a dessert. So any dessert that starts with an O here? Any suggestion? All right, so who likes Oreo here? Okay, so basically Oreo was the O edition for Android releases. So again, these editions are no different, like they're similar, but each new edition adds some new features and supports more categories of smartphones that the previous one did not actually support. So that's why whenever you keep things up to date, usually you get the maximum level of support to lots of features. Now, when we talk about where to use Android, it's basically everywhere. So you can find it running smartphones, just given some brands, of course, not all of them. But for example, we have Samsung, we have HTC, Sony, LG, Huawei. Not actually, Huawei is now trying to have its own one. But previously it was running Android. There is also the tablet support. And there are, of course, the wearables. So here we talk about smart watches, smart glasses, and lots of other different things that could be supported. Usually as developers, we start having our own application, but there are two options for us to test our application. So we can just run it directly on our smartphone, which is the physical one. And there is what we know as emulator. So emulator here appears like the one here on the right side. And this is basically a very similar environment to the actual phone, but it gives you a more secured environment. So if, let's say, the application I'm developing is suffering from any deficiency, or it's having, let's say, errors, or any sort of things that could be unsafe to my phone, I start first testing it on the emulator, and if I made sure that everything is running fine, I can switch to the second type of testing, which is the physical phone testing. So as developers or as testers, we test things first on the emulator. Once it works fine, we switch to the physical phone. So you might at this stage wonder, what's an emulator? Okay, now this is your laptop, and this is where you write the code to have your application. Now there is what we know as IDE. IDE provides you with the option of running your code to see the result virtually. So let's for now assume that my laptop is going to act like a host to the application, where the emulator here is going to act like a guest. And the emulator is simply an application that imitates the behavior of a physical phone, but actually on the computer itself. It duplicates the same feel and look of how the application is going to be running on it. And it also allows you the option to switch between different devices types. So you would actually see how this application is going to look like on LG, let's say, on Nexus 5, on Pixel phone, and many other types. Now let me tell you that applications come in two different ways. So there is the option of having what we know as static mobile applications, and there is the other option we know as dynamic mobile application. So just by the name, can you tell what's the difference between static and dynamic mobile application? So Android use Java language. That's a very good question, Hind. Yes, most of the time it uses Java in the back end. And for the front end, we use a language known as XML. Okay, so let me ask you this. What could be a static mobile application from the word itself? Static means what? It's something that doesn't actually move or doesn't change, right? Do you guys agree on this? Perfect, great. All right, awesome. Excellent, thank you. So static view comes here under the static mobile application. So it's every time you enter the mobile app, you see exactly the same exact view. The content never change or change very slowly over time. The content doesn't really await any user input. So there is no sort of interaction with the user. It's only informative sort of applications. And there is, on the other hand, what we know as dynamic mobile applications. So these are the applications that every time you enter, you will see that some changes went through. So it provides you a variable view. It asks you to have some inputs. It interacts with you. It provides you with a custom environment. It might seem a bit confusing, but let's have an example here. So what's up? Okay, so what do you think WhatsApp is actually categorized as? Do you think it's going to be static or dynamic? Excellent, dynamic. Yes, excellent, Johar. Excellent. So it's considered dynamic because it's sort of changing every time you enter the application. You will see some new conversations, you will see some new contacts, some new messages, and so on, right? Okay, how about this one here, Facebook? Excellent. Again, this is dynamic. So every time I enter Facebook, I will see that some new feeds are added. There are likes, comments, and so on, right? So this is a third one here. It's a very interesting app. It's built mainly for the students to teach them how letters are actually to teach them letters. So every letter you click on, it's gonna take you to a word with an image on this letter. So for example, if you click the P here, it's gonna tell you banana. So do you think this is static or dynamic application? Excellent. Excellent, right. Excellent, ladies. Thank you. All right, so here, every time I click a letter, I will just get the same exact view every time, no changes. And even if changes happen, it's gonna be like, it's not daily, right? So this is considered now a static application because simply it doesn't interact with the user. It doesn't ask him for any inputs. Now, how about this screen here? It's a login screen that once you click on the login button, it will take you to the actual application or the main activity behind. Yes, excellent, Jawhara. Excellent. So this is dynamic because here I await user input, right? So I ask him for a username and password. And if he enters, let's say, wrong credentials, the system is going to interact with him, telling him, okay, this is not, or this is invalid username, invalid password, and so on. So there is a sort of interaction, right? Okay, so we use our smartphone every day, almost every minute. Just let me ask you this. What kind of features attract you in your smartphones? Why do we use smartphones? Okay, so do you use it for chatter? Or you use it for entertainment, let's say? Excellent, great. So you use it for communication, to contact your friends. Excellent, great. Okay, so who use it for playing games? No one here? Perfect, right. It's the way to contact the outside world. Excellent, Hen. It makes your life more easier, right? So what kind of features make your life easier? Can you tell me? Useful applications, excellent, right. So we use it basically to play games, just for the sake of entertainment. We use it to chat with each other and send texts to our friends and family members. Sometimes we use it for translations, just like how you see dictionaries. We use the Wi-Fi as a service. We use the camera. Sometimes we just hold the phone to check the battery level, right? Just to check if you want to charge it or not. It could also be used for authentication purposes. So no one is going to be authorized to have access to your phone if you specified a face recognition sort of login, or let's say fingerprints, or let's say eye scan, and different other login features. There is also the microphone that allows you access to the phone calls and the video calls and all of these, and even for the recording. So lots of features are actually there for you. Excellent. Here we also have calling, messaging, searching. Excellent. Excellent, Shahid. Right. So mobile phones are everywhere. And mobile applications are everywhere as well. So as a developer, if I want to build something to attract my users, I need to have some design basics as a way of guidance or best tool practices that once the developer is going to see, he's going to know that he's moving on the right direction. Now, let me ask you this. How many time it happened that you open an application, you just don't like the interface, so you just simply decided to close it and install another one? Did it happen before with anyone? Excellent, Shahid. Right, that's great. Yeah, it happened, right? Every day. So every time you face a bad design application or a bad functionality application, you simply decide to uninstall it and then install another alternative. So now we're going to look into some design principles or best practice design principles that makes your website or mobile application a good one. So let's agree on this. Design is a science, but good design is a skill. And this is what's needed as a developer. Good design is what increases the user experience. And what do we mean by increases user experience? Let your user feel like they are engaged, interact with them. Let them customize, let them improve the process. So this is gonna enhance the reachability of your application. It's gonna reach more people. Design is good, but it doesn't distract the user from the main application functionality. So the main concern for me as a user is that I find it working fine. I don't want to see a bad functionality and a very excellent design. There should be a good balance between them. Globalization. This is one way to reach more people. So imagine that I provide an application that talks in English, but it could also talk in Spanish, it could also talk in French, it could also talk in Arabic. Isn't it a way of attracting more users in the market? Yes, definitely. Excellent. Thank you. Allow for navigation. So I don't want to feel like I entered a screen that I'm stuck in, right? I don't know how to go anywhere else. So I want to feel like I can navigate easily through a menu, through a navigation bar, whatever. I can easily get navigated to somewhere else within the application. So navigation and making the navigation process easy is one app feature. Now, if I asked you to open your smartphone and open Snapchat, for example, will you first look at the application name or the application icon? Which one will attract you first? Right? Excellent. So that's why they always say attract the user by having a custom app icon. So it's not a good style to have your application with a duplicated icon like another application in market. You should have your own identity being explained through your own logo design. It should be simple, attractive, and self-descriptive. So I don't want to feel like, okay, I don't understand what this app is doing, even if the icon is simple and nice, but I don't really understand what it does. Now look here at most of the chatting applications. They tell you this sign because it's well known that this is used for chat. You can tell that this is used for chatting and calling. This is used for chat. At this stage, you might actually wonder, how about Snapchat, right? So it's not really self-telling what's there through the logo, but it actually got to be very popular that everyone is using Snapchat nowadays, right? Excellent. Good design makes it more professional. Indeed. Excellent. Excellent, Shahid. So it might happen that some applications go out of books by designing something unusual, but it actually gets to work. For Snapchat, they claim that it gets the best picture that even ghosts will be captured into it. So they claim this, and this was one way of increasing their popularity. People started talking about this logo a lot when it was first launched. So it might happen, but in general, the best practices tells you that you need to have a self-descriptive application logo or icon. Try to address more people every time. So you need to know your target users. What makes them happy? What makes them more comfortable dealing with your own application? So if let's say you're designing something for a kid, it's gonna look a bit colorful, cheerful, it's gonna be energetic, right? But what if you're designing something for elder people? In this case, you need to be more cautious with the colors. You need to be more cautious with the fonts used. Go for classic, excellent, right? So go for the simple design because older people are not gonna be comfortable with the energetic sort of application design, right? What if you deal with some people who are ignorant? They don't know how to read and write. So in this case, you will need to support support your application with more simple and easy features, right? Simple and easy to use. Yes, excellent. So go for making it simple and easy to use, right? Uh, if they don't know how to read, don't provide lots of text, just provide audio support and many more. So the more you know about your target people or your target audience, you will be more cautious of what kind of features you want to add, right? So control the colors, control the fonts, control the sound, use less text, use more pictures, and so on. One also of the most common design principles is actually targeting the error messages. Involve more design and feature to make it easy to understand. Excellent, Shahad, right? So the more you know your user, you will know how to attract them, right? This is the idea. Now, considering the error messages, it's usually recommended to have it as a friendly error messages. And by friendly, let me give you examples. Can you tell me if this is good or bad error message? Bad. Okay, why is it bad? Does it tell you any extra information of what kind of error has occurred? It means something is going wrong, excellent, but it doesn't tell you what is it that's wrong, right? How to fix it. Right, it's like he's yelling, excellent hand, thank you. An error occurred, okay, thank you, I know, but what is that error? How to solve it? Like maybe there is no internet, as Shahid is saying, right? But it doesn't tell you exactly what's going on wrong. So as a user, how would you fix the error if you don't know it? So this is a bad style of error messages. Now let's look into this one here. I have an app that creates an event. And here I enter a date from and to, and I just get these error messages. Specified date is incorrect. Specified date is incorrect. Good or bad? Good. Okay. Good. All right. Okay, so can you fix it for me? How to fix this error here? Can you tell what's wrong about this date here? Not really, right? But what if I change it, this error message to be like this one here? Date occurs in the past. Right? It doesn't mention the problem, right? It tells you, okay, this is wrong, but what's wrong about it? Give me some hints so that I can fix it, my side, right? So now if I know that the date occurs in the past, okay, now I know the problem, so I know how to solve it. So I can just, instead of 2014, I can just go and pick 2021, right? So again, this is gonna be better compared to this one here on left. Okay, what about this one here? Try again. There was an error with your information. Please enter the name on your credit card, a valid card number. Good or bad? That's good. Okay. Good, excellent, very specific. So I fill my credit card, I fill my name on the credit card, and when I click on save card, I got this message. It tells me that there is an error with the name of the credit card, or with a valid, or just enter a valid card number. So it gives you the problem. One of these two is actually invalid. But what about this one here? If I tell you that this cannot be blank, and this one should be 16-digit number, is it more specific? Is it telling you more about the problem? Yes, right? So it tells you that you left this one empty, so you have to fix it. And this one here, maybe you entered a 17-digit number, maybe you entered 15-digit number. So it tells you that this should be 16-digit number. Of course, when we deal with some applications that deal with some sensitive information like credit cards and things related to bank accounts and so on, they keep the security in first priority. So that's why they keep intentionally, they keep the messages like this one here on left. So that if you're not the actual user of this bank account, you won't really get to fraud the system just by entering any other number. Because by knowing the problem, you can easily fix it. And there are lots of programs that can provide the right credit cards, let's say using some patterns on artificial intelligence. Right, so small details are important. Excellent, Shahad. Again, providing more about the problem to your user is going to allow them to know more about the problem and simply fix it. Okay, so what about this one here? Oops, your connection seems off. Keep calm, light a fire, and pull to refresh, and then try again. Good or bad? That's good, right? Very good. So it tells you the problem. It talks to you in a very friendly way, right? So it doesn't really get you mad. Okay, why this one is not working? It tells you that this is just a temporary error and this is gonna be resolved soon. Now imagine that you received the error message on the right side now. The operation couldn't be completed, WD general network error 500. Bad, why is that? Do you know what's error 500? Not really, right? So most of the users are not aware of these developer sort of errors. So as developer, I might be aware that this is a server-side error. But for a user, they won't really understand this. So as developers, we need to make sure that there are some error messages that are produced during the testing stage. But these error messages should be coded somehow so that they appear more friendly to the user once the system is launched. So again, talk to the user, be friendly, be brief. Using an image is also helpful. They say one image is worth 1,000 words, right? So like this one here, Twitter is over capacity. Even without reading the text, you can tell that there is something huge going on. Just by seeing the ice cream dropping, you can tell that there is something missing, which is basically the page is not found, the 404 page not found, the very common error. Same one here, there is connection problem, the page is not found. There is over traffic, I can't tell, just by looking at the image. So this is basically on how to have very friendly environment between you and your own users, so you attract them more to use your application. And of course, when we talk about colors, it's good to have colors in your apps, but we need to also limit this so we don't use too many colors. So the app look is not going to look off at certain point. Now tell me, how do you see this one? Is it good or bad? Good, excellent, great. Thank you, Abdullah. Thank you, Shahad. Thank you, Amal. Thank you, Saoud. Thank you, Haya. Great. Thank you, Hind. Okay, it's good, but not for you. Maybe these are not your favorite colors, right? But still looking at it in general, it doesn't look a bit off, like it's still reasonable, right? How about this one here? Good or bad? Good, okay, great. So, okay, some of you agreed to be good and others said no. Again, it depends on everyone, the preferences, right? The use of color is really important to attract people. But of course, I believe that most of you will agree that this one is bad, right? Not good, okay. I agree, okay. So too many colors, and even the contrast between the color of the text and the color of the background is not carefully chosen. So you cannot really have a white text on a yellow background. This might not be very readable to most of people, right? So we need to pay attention to how these things look like in terms of design. Right, excellent. That's a very good point, Shahad. Sticking to a color palette. There are lots of websites that actually you can find that tells you what kind of colors that work fine with each other. Sometimes you use only colors that are related to the logo of the company or the organization. So you keep things a bit limited. So it doesn't look too colorful, right? It's still reasonable. This one here they used lots of colors, but all in all, it looks really fine. The design is really smart. It looks really good. But again, it depends on how users see these as their own preferences. Now let's assume these are app icons. And just keep in mind the app icons are not really shown in a very huge size, but it's usually 50 pixels by 50 pixels, something that is very, very small. Now imagine that this is the app icon. Do you love it or you hate it? Right, involving many options will make it a little mess. Excellent. Okay, you hate this one, Shahad. Right. Okay, why do you hate it? Okay, Amal also hate this one. Great. So it's a bit pixelized, right? You cannot really see the details here. It's not clear. And imagine that this one here is actually very, very small icon. It's not clear at all. Yes, right. Even Dr. Basil here, he hates it and he finds it not attractive at all. So again, think of how to make the application icon attractive. This one is bad. How about this one here? SimCity. Okay, so can you read the text here for me? What's written here? Anyone can read it? Do you have good eyes? No, not clear. Okay, bad. Complete edition. Okay, you were able to read this. But this is a bigger size icon. Imagine this as a 50 pixel by 50 pixel. Will you be able to read this? Right, so again, don't put too many details into the app icon. It has to be simple and avoid the text because it's not going to be readable. It's better compared to the previous one, but it's not that good. Excellent. Thank you, Abdullah. So the problem here was having text that is not readable. How about this one here? It's better. Very nice, right? Can you tell me what is the use of this app? No. Okay, you cannot really tell, right? You may say, okay, this is something related to cloud storage, maybe. Maybe it's something related to drawing circles, right? So you don't really tell. There's no identity in the logo. It doesn't really tell you what is the functionality of this application here, right? So I would also say this is not the one. It's simple, it's well designed, but it loses the identity. You can't really tell why is it useful. How about this one here? Maybe it's a game or whatever, I don't know. Do you feel like this last one here is good one? Not that much. It's bad. No. Okay. Not actually. Great. So you don't really see that this one is good because it has lots of details again, right? Too many faces into one very small icon. You can't tell. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you can't even tell if this is a game or an online school. Yeah. You can't really tell what's the identity of this app. Thank you, Dr. Bassem. So for me, and I think for many people, again, this is not a right option. All right, cool. Now I think we are good as judges, and there is that person here. He's a starting developer. He's asking you guys for help. So this is the design that he came up with, and he needs your advice just on how to improve this. So can you just, based on what you learned so far, can you just guide him on how to improve this? Please, yes, great. Use less pictures. Thank you, Hand. Be careful with the colors. Great. Thank you, Gala. To put one picture. Thank you, Hala. Hand is telling you change the color. Yes, please change the color here. Make it more simple. Shahid is saying, yes, I agree as well. Actually, he listened to your comments and I think he came up with this very, very nice design. So how do you see it now? Any more advices? Okay, it's better. Shahid is saying this is better. It's perfect. Hala is saying, great. The text can be clear. Abdullah saying, excellent. So you see that there is no good contrast between the color text and the background color, right? So the color has to be a bit adjusted more. Great, thank you for the great comment. He also listened to you and he decided to play a bit with the design colors here. Now, how do you see it compared to the first one? Looks great, very nice, much better, perfect, more defined, excellent, great. So this is basically the process of improving design from the very bad design all the way to a very simple and neat design. This could apply to many other contexts. So how the process of development usually goes. Okay, so we start building any application from the very simple step. We know it as coming up with a design idea or mobile app idea. So everything starts with an idea. Once you have it, you know what are you going to design, what are you going to develop, and so on, right? And once you have this idea, you go for the second step. Do some analysis. What kind of fund you need? What kind of resources you need? Once you have everything settled, what do? You have your application implemented. Once you implement the application, it gives it a .apk extension. Just like the Word file, it's given a .docx extension. In Mac, you have .pages extension, right? So also for mobile application as a project, it's given .apk extension. And this is the extension that's usually uploaded to the Play Store. Once you upload it, what happens? People start downloading your app. You start testing it with the real or actual users, and then they start giving you their feedback. And every time you receive a negative feedback, you improve the process, you improve the application, you re-upload it so people can try a new edition. And so on till you reach the level of stability. So is this process flow here clear for everyone? To start to end? Perfect, great. Okay, so now let's look into how mobile applications are actually designed. So everything goes into what we know as layout. Layout is usually the big container. The big container inside which you have the very small components into it. And this can come in two different forms. The first one could be relative. The second one could be linear. So how different could the relative layout be from a linear layout? Now let's imagine that this is our mobile application. And I just want you to look here at the big container, which actually appears as this red bar here. Do you see it? So this acts like the parent or the big container inside which you have small other components. These small components could be images, could be text, could be paragraphs, and many other components. Similarly, for the second one here, this one is the parent. We know it as a layout. And these small components are referred to as childs or children. So these are child components, and this is the parent component. And similarly for this one here. So the red bar here is the parent, and the smaller ones are simply the child components. Could be a picture, could be a text, and so on. So for the parent, we agreed this is the layout. So the parent could be a relative layout or a linear layout, right? And let's assume that the children here are simply some text and some images. So Tommy here is the text view, and Edie here is the image view. But both parents, Ray and Laura, are simply the layout that could be either relative or linear. Now let's see the role of each of these parents on their own children. Okay, so this is Laura. Laura is a linear layout. And let's now see her rule on her two children, the text view and the image view. Since Laura is a linear layout, it will always decide to give her children one of two arrangements. It's either they are arranged below each other in a vertical mode, or simply next to each other in a horizontal mode. So the linear throws things below each other vertically or next to each other horizontally. How about the components that you add inside? Okay, let me first tell you how the other parent is going to act like. Let's assume I have a relative layout, not linear. So in linear layout, you simply have, let's say, 3 components. Let's assume these are the 3 components I have. Whenever you try to place one of them, you will see that there are some bars displayed here to show you the position of this item compared to other items placed on the layout. So it's more like I say, okay, Amal is sitting next to Hala, for example. She's sitting in front of Shahad. She's sitting behind Ghala. So you keep giving it its own position with relation to other siblings in the same layout. So that's in simple words how the relative and the linear layout work. Now, what could be the young children inside the layout? These small components could be different, but in general, they could be text view, like a normal label. It could be also an edit text. What's an edit text? Any idea? Like, where do you see it in any app? Can you give me an example? Okay, how about the login screen? The one that asks you to have your username and password. In Teams, excellent, great. So every time you ask the user for certain input, it could be, let's say, the user, the phone number, the name of the person, and so on. Different other inputs could be taken through the edit text. There is also that checkbox, and there is also the radio button. So can you tell me what's the difference between a checkbox and a radio button? Type, let me help you by giving you a hint. Which one allows for a maximum of one choice? Is it the radio button or the checkbox? Excellent. A maximum of one choice. So you can't choose two, for example, at the same time. Okay, so the checkbox allows you to have more than one uh, choices at a time. So here I can have this one clicked and this one clicked. But for this one here, the radio button, it's either this or that. That's why sometimes in gender, let's say you see it radio buttons, it's either male or female. This one could be applied, let's say, for the nationality, because someone can have more than one nationality, right? So it depends on the context of your application. Where do you need to place these? You just decide which component is going to come into your layout. You can also have date picker like this one here, which is actually the option for you to choose the month, the day, and even the year. And there is also the image view and image button, and there is a very slight difference between them. But let me ask you, do you see the difference? Okay, so the image view is usually an image that you want to place into your layout. This image has no real actions to do. But for the image button, this is a bit different. So an image button is having an image-like shape, but this one can be clicked. And if you click it, it's going to show you certain action behind it. Okay, there is also here the button. The button here is the last component in this screen. And this is simply like the sign in button, the login button, the log out button. So it's a button that once you click, it does certain tasks for you, right? Now, what action is done is usually what you decide later on. Of course, talking about all of these components, they act like a person. So if I ask you, okay, describe someone for me, what will you say? You will describe the person in terms of, okay, he's a bit tall, he's a bit short. He's having, let's say, short hair, long hair, brown hair, dark eyes, light eyes, and so on, right? You keep describing the person in terms of the colors, the gender, okay, excellent, Shahad, right? So you give it some set of attributes and you start describing these attributes, right? So the height, for example, it's either short or long as a value. The hair could be also brown or let's say black. Same for the eyes, same for the eyebrows, same for the nose. So you keep describing each and every single structure into the face, right? So these are known to be attributes to be further described using certain values. So just like this person here, I can just give it some attributes saying, okay, she's having a black hair, she's having brown eyes, and so on. Now let me ask you. So this is a sort of bold question. Okay, so who's gonna answer the first one? Okay, so here we have A, B, C, D, and E. I just need someone to tell me A, is it a text view or image view or button? Great, great, excellent. All right, so, okay, Abdullah, Mutan, and Abdullah Al-Uwaid, Hind, Shahad. Okay, yes, you all agree to have this as a text view. Okay, so, okay, Abdullah, you're asking for the prayer break. Okay, I didn't know there is a break. Yes, sure, we can have. Okay, so Dr. Basil, can we have a 10 minutes break or such for the prayer time?
Sure, if you would like to have a 10-minute break, sure, no problem. Absolutely okay.
Yes, sure, no problem. Thank you so much. Okay, so guys, we can have a 10 minutes break and then we're gonna get back here to continue. All right, thank you so much. I'll be back after 10 minutes, inshallah. Thank you. All right. So is everyone back? Great. All right. Thank you all. So shall we start, Dr. Bassel? Okay. Oh, Dr. Bassel, can you hear me? Okay. So, okay, we can get started. Okay, so we were at this level here, and I was asking you what is A, and most of you agreed to have this as a text view, which is correct. How about the B here? Is it text view or image view or button? Great, excellent. Thank you, Hala. Okay, what else? Any other answers? Excellent. Right. Okay, so again, for B, it's also a text view. Now, how about C here? Is it text view or image view or button? Excellent. Thank you, Hala. Thank you, Hala. Right, excellent. Thank you, Abdullah. Right. So yes, C here is considered an image view. How about D and A? D and E, sorry. Excellent, Abdullah. Right. Excellent, Razan. Excellent, Hala. Right. Excellent, Ghala. So yes, for D and E, they are both considered buttons. Thank you. So we got to see previously that there is an image button. I just want to give you a quick highlight on what's an image button. So an image button could be like this one here. I'm not sure if you dealt with Duolingo before as a mobile application, but this is an application to teach you new languages. And every time you pass a certain category of words, you have to actually go to the second one, and this is going to be a clickable icon. Once you open this one, it takes you across all the exercises you have to pass to move to the second one, and so on. So these images here, the ones that you can actually click, and every time you click, it does something for you. These, we know them as image buttons. Same for this one here. I can also click these icons to get access to the artists, the albums, the playlists, and so on. And there was this one here. This is commonly used in the Windows smartphones. You would see this very common. And also in games. So if I ask you to pick your own avatar to continue the game, clicking these buttons here is simply an image button. Even on the simplest level, clicking the icon to get access to the application itself, this is considered an image button. So when you click this button, you get access to the entire application functionality. Okay, so these are some of the components we talked about your own smart device or smart application screen. So this one here, we know it as a button. So what's the name of the second one? Who can tell me? We know it as edit text. Excellent, Ghala. Edit text. How about this third one here? Where do you see it? Brightness. Excellent, Ghala. Right. We also see it in the volume, right? So we know this as a slider. And there is this one here, which is the checkbox. This one here, we know it as radio button, which we talked about earlier. And there are these two last options here that were not previously discussed. So number 6 here stands for a toggle button. So toggle button is simply an on-off thing. So yes, excellent, Abdullah, right. This is just an on-off, a value of 0 or a value of 1. So you see this quite common into smart devices when it comes to, let's say, specifying certain setting. Even if you will look into the way of the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, these are all given on-off values. So it's either 0 or 1. So these are all considered toggle buttons given different shapes and forms. And there is this one here, we know it as a drop-down menu. In a drop-down menu, you can have many options, out of which you can choose a maximum of 1 value. So again, these are just different examples of what you can add to your own mobile application screen. Now comes to the level of how can smartphones or smart applications actually think? There should be a logic behind, right? And logical options are always limitless when it comes to mobile development. I just want to ask you here a question. Imagine like you are driving this car over here, trying to reach certain destination, like a restaurant or a grocery shop or whatever. You found that you have lots of options, different ways through which you can simply reach your own destination. As a person, how would you choose the best option to go with? Which of these ways you're going to follow? Okay, so one thing we're going to start doing, okay, excellent, Hala. You're saying the easiest route you're going to follow? Right. So I will do certain analysis, a very quick one. Which one of these is maybe the shortest path? Which one is having, let's say, the less traffic? Which one is easy for me, like I know the route well, even if it's a long one, right? So I would specify certain preferences in my mind, and accordingly, I'm gonna take the right action. Which way of these I'm gonna follow, right? So similarly, like how we think using our brains, we try to provide what we know as event flow for the application to think on their own. So if they face this option, they do this certain action. If they face the other event, they take the other action, and so on. Okay, now coming to the task that we're gonna try to do as an assignment for this session. But before we get started on the assignment, I just want to show you a very interesting application here that you can download. I'll also share this link because you're gonna need it for the assignment. So I just want you to open this link. Once you do, you will get access to something similar to this one here. So it's an application that you can actually download for free. It's supporting Mac OS and it's also supporting Windows laptops. So just based on which one, which operating system you are running, please go and download your own version. So this is going to give you a 30 days trial for this application so you can actually explore how to use it. So I'll just take you in a very quick tour on how to use this application before I tell you more details about the assignment that you need to do. So once you open this application here after download, this is what will show it to you. This application is named Just in Mind, and it's used mainly for prototyping purposes or creating designs before you start the actual implementation process. So since we are talking about mobile applications, the task here, I'm going to choose for it a mobile interface. So I can choose here a mobile that could be an iPhone, or I just go for Android. You can pick whichever phone type that you actually like. I'll go with the Android. And then I'll click here on New Prototype. This will take a while to open for me an empty environment. And if it's your first time to open Just in Mind as an application on your device, you will see that it supports you with some basic tutorials, like to tell you how to navigate through the environment and how to play around with that and to understand it like every single step here. So I will just go here very quickly to show you what to do exactly here. So here on the left side, you have what's known as basic widgets. So let me expand it one by one. Basic widgets provide you with a text, paragraph, image, button, input text field, or edit text. There is also a table in case you want to sort things in table-like format. You can also add lines or shapes if needed. You can have forms for user input, including the checkbox, the radio button, date picker, file upload option. You can have drop-down menus. You can have checklists, radio lists. You can have navigation buttons. You can have hotspot. You can have menus, trees. So these are all different components that you can actually add to your environment here. You can also add some special components if you want to add a URL, a document, a table. These are a bit more stylish things, including, let's say, an empty screen. We can preview things here. You can also have an list item screen, navigation drawer, button, input text field, text area. So text area is simply an area where you can put more than one line of text. Yes, this is a way of designing applications. So what we will do, I'll just wanna, no, okay, so this is the design stage of application. After you're done with this one, you go for the real implementation, which is coding paste. So for the sake of simplicity, we're just gonna get through the process of dealing with the application prototyping. So it acts like an actual app, but it's actually without the code behind. Okay, so the professional way to build an application, not design an application, is using Android Studio. But again, if you joined us, inshallah, hopefully in third year of software engineering, you will get to see how to deal with this step by step. But since it requires lots of setup in the back end, it would be just a burdensome for UPB level. So we're just going to keep this for third year level in case you decided to join us in software engineering. As for now, we can just play around with how to design our applications. So I can just, for example, have an image like this. I can also have a button. I can drag it and place it here. Or let's keep it more stylish. So I'll just go and insert the one below. I'll drag this one and place it here. I can also have a text, let's say, that says, "Welcome everyone." So to change the properties of these components, you will see the properties tree here on the right side. So you can change the font type. You can make it underlined. You can change the text, and so on. So I'll just go and change this by saying hello. Sorry. Say hello there. You just zoom it in a bit here so you can see it. So this component here, I can still play with its own properties by increasing its font size. can also give it colors. You can give it, okay, it's not responding on my side. Well, okay, so for the background, I can just have it colorful or just assign an image for it. And make, let's say, a light background color. And so on. So you can just play around with these properties. You can also change the color from here. So I can have the text, let's say, as I don't know, just anyone you like. Blue should be fine. Okay, so I can play with the properties of these components the way I like it. For the image, you can just click here at on the Add Image button, and you can just choose the image that you want to add. So I can just choose one here. So do you want to include it in the prototype or just make it as a link that takes you to the image file? I'll make it an image in the prototype. So this is going to change it to Al Faisal logo. You can also control the this to be 200 height and let's say 130 as width. So now it looks a bit bigger. I can control its own size. I can also have edit text just to allow the user to input something. So you will see that the tool provides you with hints all the way as you go. You can also write something as a tooltip. Okay, so these buttons here, you can have some actions behind it. And actions in prototyping, we refer to them as events. So I can just click this plus sign to add an event on the button. So this event could be what? Could be anything that you want to do. So if you click here on choose trigger, you will see that you can do an action once you tap on this button. So if you tap on it, you want to simply drag it right, drag it left, whatever. The thing that I will do, okay, I'll use the regular button here. And I'll also change its own text. So I'm going to make it say sign in. And I'll add an event for it. This event, I'll make it such that it opens a new page once I click the button. So before you do, you can just add a new screen from here, plus sign, and just name it, let's say, screen 2. So now I have this application having 2 screens. The first one is the one that I have my design in, and the second one is still empty. So go back here to screen 1, click on the button, click on add event. So on tab, I want to navigate to the second screen. I know it as screen 2. And then I'll click on OK. Let's go here on screen 2 and just have any text that says, OK, welcome to screen 2. So I'll just drag here a text that says, welcome to screen 2. Now go back to screen 1 and I will click this one to see how this application is going to be stimulated. So it's going to show me a mapping of the real implementation. So it's as if now this application is up and running. I just can play around with it to see if this actually works the way I expect. Did you see what happened? So if I click this button here, it takes me to the second page that says welcome to screen 2. And so on. You can still customize the way these applications look like. So this is in simple words how to use the environment of Just in Mind. It's very easy, very simple. This is where you see the screens. This is where you see the properties of any component once you click on it. This is where you add events for any component in your layout. And this is where you drag any component into your layout here. Now getting back to see what are you supposed to do for the sake of the session assignment for this week. So this is going to be a group activity of 2 to 3 members. That's worth 10 marks. And it's going to be due next Wednesday. So you have 1 week to finish this task. Your task is to design a 2 screens application. For example, you can have a screen for login and the second screen that introduces the actual service for your own application. You can choose any application field. You can choose to make a 2 screens application into healthcare or business or education or entertainment, completely your own choice. Once you do, you will need to upload this on Moodle, the 2 screens you built, to get the grade of this assignment. You can also play around with the events, with the properties, just to make it a good looking application. That's it basically my side. I will end it here, and I want to thank you everyone for attending. A special thanks to Dr. Basil for the gentle invitation. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'm open. Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank you very
Mahmoud.
much for being with us today, Engineer Huda. It was a very fruitful presentation, and I'm sure everybody seemed to have enjoyed this, especially with the Just in Mind tutorial. And I'd like just to take the opportunity and remind everyone that the web development assignment deadline is now on Sunday, 11:59 p.m. and your mobile application development assignment is on Wednesday or a week from today by 11:59 p.m. Thank you very much once again, Engineer Huda, and as usual, just a wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much. Really, thank you, Dr. Basil. It was a pleasure.
You're more than welcome.
I'm thankful to you. Thank you.
You are
amazing,
more than welcome.
Everyone. I enjoyed being with you. Really, thank you so much.
Anytime, anytime.
Thank you, Dr. Basil.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, so this is it for today. Thank you so much for coming. Please make sure that you divide yourselves into groups as required for every assignment. Next week, we will be having another interesting speaker, Dr. Arij Al-Wabil, and she will be talking to us about artificial intelligence and human-computer interaction, a very interesting topic for us, hopefully with a good activity. So, thank you so much for coming. I won't keep you any longer. It's already nighttime for everyone. Have a great weekend. If you need any questions, please do not hesitate to email me at any time. Take care, guys, and all the best.
Thank you,
And
Doctor.
you're more than welcome, Jude. Take care and all the best. And as Engineer Huda said, we wish to see you soon in software engineering.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Have a great weekend, everyone. Everybody and
Thank you,
Engineer Huda,
Doctor.
you're more than welcome. Thanks to Engineer Huda once again.